preface from the book Setting Boundaries. Set Boundaries. My life before I had healthy boundaries was overwhelming and chaotic. I too have struggled with codependency, peace in life and at work, and unfulfilling relationships. But setting expectations for myself and others gives me peace. Inventing a life with healthy relationship is ongoing practice, but it gets more comfortable with time and practice. The moment that I let out on setting parameters, my old problems resurface. Because of this, I've made healthy boundaries a part of my life practice. Consistently, I'm practicing assertiveness and self discipline to create the life that I want. In the past, I carried around a lot of resentment, hoping that others would guess my mood and wishes. Through trial and error, I've learned that people will not guess my needs. They went about their day while I suffered in silence. The things that I once found hard to say, such as "I won't be able to help you move," now come out more firmly. I was scared. I didn't want to make anyone mad, and I didn't know the right words. I feared that standing up for myself would cost me my relationships. All the while, the personal cost was much higher. When I first learned about boundaries, I was confused about how the concept applied to my life. Boundaries can be such a broad and intimidating term. This book will break down the many aspects of having healthy boundaries and offer insights into how we can honor the boundaries set by others. It took me years to not feel as guilty setting limits with others, but be- because I didn't know that guilt was normal when you're doing something that you believe to be mean. This book will teach you how to manage the discomfort or guilt that stops you from having the life that you want. Hopefully, it will give you the confidence and courage to create healthy boundaries in your own life. Keren nih. Boundaries will set you free. I've been a therapist for 14 years. People don't come to therapy knowing they have boundaries issues. When they walk in the door, boundary issues are disguised as issues with self care, conflicts with other people, trouble with time management, or concerns about how social media impacts their emotional state. Once they finish their tales of resentment, unhappiness, feeling overwhelmed, and codependency, I say to them gently, "You have an issue with boundaries." With that, we begin to work of uncovering boundary violations, learning to communicate boundaries to others, and dealing with the aftermath of setting boundaries. Yes, there's aftermath when dealing with the discomfort and guilt that comes from asserting yourself. Instagram has become a space for me to post a lot of what I see as a result of boundary issues. My Instagram post, "Signs that you need boundaries," went viral. Signs that you need boundaries. You feel overwhelmed. You feel resentment toward people for asking for your help. You avoid phone calls and interactions with people you think might ask for something. You make comments about helping people and getting nothing in return. You feel burned out. You frequently daydream about dropping everything and disappearing. You have no time for yourself. The overwhelming response I see to this post online shows me how much people relate to the need for boundaries. My direct messages overflow with notes like "boundary issue, please help." Weekly, I host Instagram Q&As and 85% of the questions pertain to boundaries. I receive questions like, "My friends get drunk every week and it makes me uncomfortable when I hang out with them. What can I do? I can't stop saying yes to my brother, who's constantly asked to borrow money. My parents want me to come home for the holidays. I want to go to my partner's family's house instead. How do I tell them?" Answering all the questions I get on Instagram is impossible. Week after week, people have more questions about their struggles with communications in relationships. I've uncovered a bottomless pit of boundary issues. I know that the only way to help more people sort through these problems was to compile the strategies I've learned into a book. And these don't come just from my online and client work. I've had my own troubles with boundaries nearly my entire life. I continue to work on this every day, so I personally understand the deep importance of establishing healthy limits. On most days, I ask a poll questions on my Instagram stories. Taking polls has been a fun way to learn from my community. At times, I'm shocked by the results. Like the time I asked, are your expectations of your father different from the expectations you have for your mother? Over 60% of people said no. I was shocked because because moms, I'm one, talk about expectation weighing more heavily on mothers. But the people of Instagram seem to believe that both parents are equally as important. Sprinkled throughout this book, you'll find my Instagram polls and results. Like most people, I have found that my family relationship have been the most challenging for me in which to set boundaries. Family systems have unspoken rules of engagement. If you want to feel guilty, set a limit with your family. Last year, I received a text from a relative calling on me to help them fix someone. I know I groaned when I wrote back, "This is not my job and it's not your job either." After many years of trying to save the same person, I quit. It's not my job to save people. It's not my job to fix people. I can help people, but I can't fix them. And at that moment, I was proud of my boundaries and how far I've come in my ability to honor them. Through trial and error, I've learned if you don't like something, do something about it. I had assumed that I had to accept things and help people even if it harmed me. I did not want to disappoint others. This reflects the number one reason that people avoid setting boundaries: fear of someone getting mad at them. Fear is not rooted in fact, fear is rooted in negative thoughts and the storylines in our heads. Over the years, I learned that when people need my help, they have to recognize the issue and request assistance, and I have to be able and willing to help them. It took years for me to realize that I wasn't helping people by fixing them. I was getting in the way of them doing the work and that they needed to do for themselves. Throughout this book, you will learn about more of my boundary fails and triumphs. It isn't easy to set limits, especially with the people we love. It may seem far worse to risk making someone mad than to have an uncomfortable conversation. But oh, the relationships I could have saved if only I had said something. Sometimes those things were big. I will not be around you when you're drinking, and sometimes small. Please take your shoes off when you come in my house. But they all mattered. People don't know what you want. It's your job to make it clear. Clarity saves relationships. This book presents a clearly outlined formula for knowing when you have a boundary issue, communicating the need for a boundary, and following it up with action. This process isn't always pretty. Communicating what you want and need is tough at first, and dealing with what comes after can be downright uncomfortable. But the more you do it, the easier it gets, especially when you experience the peace of mind that follows. Reasons people don't respect your boundaries: you don't take yourself seriously, you don't hold people accountable, you apologize for setting boundaries, you allow too much flexibility, you speak in uncertain terms, you haven't verbalized your boundaries. They're all in your head. You assume that stating your boundaries once is enough. You assume that people will figure out what you want and need based on how you act when they violate a boundary. Wow, ini keren ya buku